Okay. Good morning, everybody. Excited again to be here.
And it's weekend as well.
That's
so
right.
time to make more money.
That's right.
All right. So today we are going to be discussing how to get any visa in Nigeria. I know at the mention of this topic, someone would be wondering why exactly visa on a business program. So Mr. Tony, let me ask you, why exactly visa? How does it link to business?
Yeah, it has everything to do with business, right? Every equipment in this studio right now was imported, right? We didn't make any of them.
Yeah.
So they're coming from overseas. Everything you're wearing right now was made.
No.
It's made in a foreign country. James, the same thing with you, except for myself.
So why that objection for yourself?
I'm promoting the Nigerian economy.
Me too. What other things
I like to wear made in Nigeria. But anyways, the point is, visas are important for business. Visas are important for international trips, right?
Okay.
And so, if you're an exporter or an intending exporter, or you're an importer, even though we do not encourage importation anymore, Nigerians need to start manufacturing locally, so that we can kill the value of the dollar and raise the value of the naira. But Nigerians still have to travel to import stuff. If you are going into the export market, we said that one of the ways to find international buyer is to go for trade shows, right? Some other people have to go for education, some have to go on vacation. But the reason I want to talk about this today is that I've heard many cases of fraudulent visa agents, stealing from Nigerians, millions of naira. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Nigerians are travelers. Nigerians love to travel, but Nigerians are also very erratic. Somebody wakes up today and decides, "Oh, I'm going to America in the next 3 months." No plan, no background plan, no decision. It's an impromptu decision, right? And so once they make that decision, they want to go. They start looking for an agent who's going to get them a visa. Number one, it's criminal for both the person who is claiming to be able to give you the visa and yourself, who is contracting somebody who's not an embassy to give you a visa. It's criminal.
Okay.
Right? But many Nigerians have fallen victim, and if you actually look into it over the years, it's running into hundreds of millions of naira that Nigerians have lost to fake agents, right? So we want to bust that bubble today. We want to solve that problem.
We're breaking tables today here on the show.
Once and for all. So if you want to travel overseas for business or for education or a church program or some kind of vacation, or you're going to buy stuff, you're going to find market for your made in Nigeria commodities, you can get any visa. Just even the ones you think are the most difficult ones, even the American embassy, the American visa, you can get that, right?
Okay.
And so I'm about to tell you how you're going to do that.
The procedures, how to go about it.
That's right. So first of all, you have to stop being erratic. By that I mean, you have to make plans. You have to know that traveling requires plans, right?
And time as well.
And time, exactly. So don't wake up today and decide, okay, I'm traveling next week. I'm traveling next two weeks.
But someone can do that if the person has his or her visa.
If you already have a visa, yes.
Ready.
If you already have a visa, I don't have a problem with you. If you have dual nationality, like some of us, I don't have a problem with you. You can decide today and leave tomorrow. It's not a problem. But I'm talking about somebody who doesn't have a visa, possibly haven't ever traveled out of Nigeria. And then you wake up one day and you decide next week is the week that I'm leaving this country. You're setting yourself up for fraudsters, right? So first of all, you have to stop being erratic. You have to know that your travel plan requires time, money, and decision, right? So after you've taught yourself how not to be too excited about traveling, the next step will be a question: where am I going? Right? You have to decide what country you want to go to. You ask a lot of people, okay, where do you want to go? They say anywhere. What do you want to?
As long as I leave Nigeria.
Where do you want to? What do you want to go and do there? Anything. I mean, that's crazy. You have to have a plan. So you decide where you're going first of all. So if you decide you're going to the UK, or you decide you're going to Germany, or you're going to Japan, or you're going to America, the next step will be for you to find the website of the embassy of this country that you've decided to go to, right? When you find this website, now you go to the information section, the travel information section. You're going to find a list, how to apply, first of all, and a list of requirements required for you to apply, right? You download that, download the form, if it's a form that you can fill, hard copy. If it's something you have to fill online, create the account, but first of all, study that. Find out what the requirements are. There is always a list of requirements for every embassy. Download that one first. Now go sit down and do your homework. right? On that list, usually number one thing you're going to find is a completed visa form for that embassy. That one is aside. Don't worry about that one yet. Then you're going to look at all the things that are not on the website that you had to bring externally to make this trip happen. And usually the next thing would be a passport, a Nigerian passport, right?
Yes.
Because you're a Nigerian, you have to have a passport that identifies who you are and what country you belong to. You have to have a Nigerian passport. So if you don't have that, you have to visit the Nigerian Immigration Service, right? To go get your passport. It's usually difficult to get these days. And they too have become very fraudulent there. For those of you who don't know, a 32-page Nigerian passport is officially 25,000 naira. But if you go to immigration right now, some immigration officials will charge you as much as 80,000 to 120,000 to give you that passport. Now, if you decide that you're going to do what they call self-paying, be prepared. Your passport is not going to come out the next six months, right? Well, I was raised by a father who taught me that every time you give a police officer a bribe or any government official any kind of money, that you're contributing to the destruction of Nigeria. So my Nigeria passport got lost, and I had to go renew it a couple of months ago. When I got there, they told me I had to pay 120,000 at immigration, and I said, I'm not paying jack. I'm going to do it myself. So what I paid for my passport was 25,000 naira. And I did the process myself. Now, let me tell you my experience before I get into the visa thing. I know we don't have a lot of time. But when I got there, I paid 25,000. Now, when I got there to submit it, they gave me a hell of a time. They made sure that
which is actually expected.
Yeah, which is expected. They made sure that I was frustrated, right? Now, eventually, because it was a lost passport, it's not a new one, I had to go the length of going to the controller's office, wrote a petition, right? Put my number. Till today, the controller hasn't called me. What does that tell you? This corruption runs deep. Till today, she hasn't called me, the controller of immigration. I went to the PCO's office. That's the next person in command. He wasn't there, but I saw a young man, and the young man said, who's asking you for extra money? Come and show me. When I got to the office, he said, why are you guys doing this, right? Eventually, he came back and told me, oh no, really, yes, apart from the extra money they're asking for, there's a 17,000 that I have to pay because my file has to go to Abuja. Okay. You know, that the officials will say, that the government will say, yes, it's 25,000, but in actual sense, they wouldn't give them money to send the file to Abuja. So him explaining to me this, because first of all, he gave me the first impression he was an upright guy. So explaining this, I had to pay the extra 17,000. And they did the process and told me to go home and wait for a message to come capture. I went online and chose the date. When I came for that date, immigration website told me this was your day to capture. When I got there, they told me you're not capturing today. You know, your things are not ready, so go. I went home. A couple of weeks later, they called me back. I went, captured. Then I waited months while people were walking in and paying 80,000 and 120,000 to get their passport the next day. But because I refused to give the bride, I had to wait almost 3 months to get my passport. So that's story for another day. So you had to go get your passport. No matter how you get it, go get it, right? That's the first step.
That's the first step.
Yeah, so when you have the passport in your hand, now on that list, you'll find out stuff like if you're going on vacation, right? You have to provide proof of funds. This is essential. And I'm going to dwell on this. I'm going to run through the other ones, but the proof of funds is the most important document in the visa process, right? Nigerians don't know this. So you will find proof of funds, which is usually a bank statement from your bank showing your bank activities the last 3 to 6 months. It is a very important document, and it's pertinent for you, towards you're getting your visa. So that's aside. Then you'll find something like a hotel reservation. If you have family in the country you're going to, you don't need the hotel reservation, but you have to get documents from your family member that proves they have a house, they have a job, and they can keep you while you're there. They had to send you that document, right? Now, the next thing you would usually find is what you're saying you're going to do. If you're going on vacation, you usually should have a tour, a document that proves that you booked some tours. So that is to say, if you're going to the UK, you have to reach out to a tour operator in the UK and tell them, hey, I'm coming to the UK. I plan to come to the UK for 1 month, and I'd like to actually vacation and visit around, important sites in the UK. So please, can you book a tour for 2 weeks for me? Now, they will do a document stating all the tours they've booked for you. Usually you will pay for that. You'll pay for that. They'll send you that document. Then, if you don't have family there, the next thing will be for you to book a hotel. You have to sleep somewhere. You won't be on the street. So you have to prove there's somewhere you're going to stay. So you book a hotel. Usually you should write a hotel and ask them to book, at least one night. You pay for that one night. You have to have a confirmed booking, and the only way you can have a confirmed booking is to pay for at least one night. So the one way there are two ways you can do that. One is by reaching out to a hotel and paying them one night, and they send you a letter of confirmation. Or you go to websites like booking.com or Expedia.com, any of these sites. You go there and book your hotel, pay for one night, print your proof of payment, and put it, add it to your collection. Now the next thing would be to show other places you want to go. If you wanted to say you're going to Schengen is a group of 26 countries in Europe. So if you get one visa from any of the countries, you're free to travel to the other ones. So you will need to, if you want to say you're applying for Germany this time, but you also want to go to Spain and France, right? Now you have to show that you have money, and you have to also book hotels in those places where you're going, and then you put all of this aside. So there are a number of documents, for sake of time, there are a number of documents there that you have to. The other important document is your insurance, right? Now, many years ago, Nigerians would know they are sick, and they'll say they're going on vacation.
Is this applicable for all countries?
Mostly European countries.
Okay.
Actually, a lot of countries now are asking for insurance now, because what happened is that many Nigerians have gone supposedly on vacation, but they knew they were sick. Okay. And they were actually going to get Medicare. So once they get there, they go to check in into the hospital and get treated. A lot of these countries have Medicare. Whether you're a citizen or not, you'll be treated. So you end up getting treated by taxpayers' monies from this country for free, right? So when they discovered this, they now have to make people get insurance, so that when you get sick, your insurance company will have to take care of the cost of your treatment and all of that. So you get that insurance and put it there. There are a number of other documents. But let's go to the bank statement. The bank statement is important because any country you're going to do not want you to come there and become a liability. They want to make sure you have funds to pay for your hotel if you're going to stay in a hotel. If you're coming to do shopping, you have money to do that. You have money to feed. You're not going to come there and live and stay on the street and start begging for money or start looking for ways to survive. They want to make sure you have money first of all. But that document, which is the bank statement proof of funds, also tells them whether you have a job or a business or not.
Okay.
Yeah. So usually, if you're a businessman and you own your own company, you should have a bank statement that bears the name of your business. Now, a lot of Nigerians think that what embassies are looking for is the amount of money you have at the point of printing the bank statement. No. The bank statement tells a story about your business or work activities. Because on the bank statement, they will see the amount of money that goes into your account on a daily basis. If you're a businessman, money has to go in and out on a daily basis, showing that you make sales or that you offer services that people pay for. So there has to be inflow. Well, your economist. So you have to have your inflow and outflow, right? So they look at that. And if you're a businessman, they will see inflow every day, showing that you're selling stuff. And it's a good amount of money. Now they look at the end of a month, they're supposed to see a chunk of money. Even if it's there or not, they want to see that at the end of the month, that your closing balance for the month reflects that of a business.
This thing has actually caused problem for some persons.
Many people.
They think it's just getting the
money and lumping it there. That's right. I'll tell you,
immediately.
95% of Nigerians think that's what it is. So they would usually borrow money from a family member. Please give me 10 million.
Just
I want to apply
transfer
for
it
visa.
immediately.
Wow, for 10 million in your account. You print bank statements. But then prior to the date you make the deposit, 0, all month round, all 3 months round. These embassies are not fools. Once they see that kind of bank statement, they know you don't have anything doing. And that is number one way that you can lose,
just get yourself disqualified.
Exactly. So now you have to have that bank statement. Now, if you're a worker, you're paid every month. Some are paid on the 28th of every month. Some are paid on the 30th. So if you're a worker, they're expecting to see a sum of money going into your account at the end of every month that proves that you work. And of course, you told them you work, so you have to bring your work documents as part of the visa process. You have to bring it to them, right? Now, when they see that you earn 450,000 every month, it's good, but these days it's not so good anymore because that's not even up to $1,000, right? So a 450,000 salary is not enough for you to travel overseas anymore, for you to get any visa, because they know you earn 450,000. Yes, based on Nigerian standards, you're earning a lot, but they know the inflation rate is high, and so 450,000 wouldn't go far, right? So you're going to feed, you're going to pay rent, you're going to pay school fees. They calculate all of that, and usually they know To admit you into their country, there's a certain amount of money they expect you to have for every day you're in that country. For most Schengen countries, about €4. It used to be €4. I don't know what it is now. It's €4. So they will calculate that against your salary to actually know if you qualify. And that's where many Nigerians fail. So because of time, I'm going to round this off by saying what you need to do is, first of all, download those statements, those requirements, get yourself a passport, and start the process. But give yourself some time. If you own a business, build your account. Make sure that every money that comes into your hand, you put it through your account. Whether it's your money or not your money. Somebody gives you money to go buy goods, put it through your account. Somebody gives you money for contract, supply, after supplying will pay, put it through your account. Let every dime that comes into your hand go through your account, because that helps to build the story that your account is going to tell the embassy. If you have done that for the next 6 months, if you look at it and you make sure that every day there are deposits and withdrawals every day, at the end of 30 days, you will see that you've accumulated up to 150 lines of transaction in just 1 month. You do that for 3 months. That's 150 times 3. That's 450 lines of transaction in your bank statement. That's a very healthy bank statement. I'm giving you guys expo now. That's a very healthy bank statement. Now, when you decide to print the statement to take it to the embassy, that's when you can now find a huge amount of money and pay it into the bank account, right? So that when you print the bank account, it tells a story. For the last 30 days, it tells the story.
This account has been existing. And
yes,
and
it shows what you've been doing.
Existing account.
Not just existing accounts. Some accounts can exist but have no money in them.
Have no money. Okay.
It's a run account.
Existing and
right? It's running and it's probably run. And it's definitely run. So you print that statement and you're good to go.
Okay, this is still Urban Marketplace, and as you know, we first of all start off with sharing very insightful and educative business tips, and today we talked about how to get any visa in Nigeria. If you listen to this conversation right now, you should be able to apply your own visa by yourself. And
yes,
I don't know, is it possible for us to have a second segment of this particular discussion, maybe next week?
We don't have that time. Next week, yes, sure.
Next week, yeah.
We can finish up next week, because I really was rushing,
Yes, we're going to finish it up because this particular topic is a whole lot. It's just too much.
Yeah.
Okay. It's